Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Coming up this week on the Course Life podcast, our front nine gets going with an unbelievable win at the 3M Open, some big-time drama in the YouTube golf world, and we're previewing the Olympics. That's right, the men are vying for Olympic gold, silver, and bronze in Paris. We get into that, plus everything that's going on in my life here in Wisconsin. Michael has a fun update on where he's headed this coming week, and updates on what we're tuned into outside the world of sports. All of it brought to you by our friends at Desert Fox Golf. Desert Fox Golf, makers of the Phone Caddy. Michael, I was at the home course of this week's podcast guest. I was at Red Barn and showed off the Phone Caddy, and everyone at Red Barn very impressed with the ingenuity of the Phone Caddy. We need to get the word out continuously, which is what we do with our favorite sponsor and partner of the show here at the Course of Life. That's right, it's Desert Fox Golf, desertfoxgolf.com. Check out everything they offer and use promo code Course of Life to save today, from the Phone Caddy to their Swing 8 tumblers to their DJ 10 speaker and everything else they offer to make your golf round a more enjoyable experience. Check out our friends at desertfoxgolf.com.
Interwebs, and welcome to Course of Life. We are proud to be presented by our friends at Desert Fox Golf. I'm Michael, he's Alex. And Alex, the Olympics have started. We're here.
Yes.
Golf is coming later this week. We'll talk about it
Excitement.
A little later. That's right. The whole fanfare and everything under everything in Paris. Wow, brain fart. It's it's later in the day, so
I mean, sand volleyball under the Eiffel Tower. We got things going down the River Seine. We had a wonderful Olympic ceremony.
I particularly love the surfing happening in Tahiti.
Yeah, and their own Olympic village on a cruise. How about that for the surfers there?
Crazy.
I love that.
Wish I was an Olympic surfer right now. But back here stateside, the PGA Tour was still happening in their final event before they take a break for the Olympics. It's the 3M Open, also the last event before the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yep.
So, it means something for those guys that are maybe right on the bubble. And Johnny Vegas, we all remember Johnny Vegas. We were big fans of Johnny Vegas back when he started breaking out in the scene, long ball guy. And even a offline drive on 12 today, landing in the arms of a police officer. I am not making this up. Did not prevent Johnny Vegas from his first victory in 7 years, closing birdie on 18 to win the 3M Open. So Johnny Vegas moves up to 66th position in the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Very impressive. I mean, if you can get past the police on your way to winning a PGA Tour event, that's when you know you're a good guy and you deserve to win. So even he could avoid the law enforcement trying to stop him from winning with that drive. But very impressive stuff from Vegas. He's a UT alum, Texas guy, got a lot of roots to the Austin area where I'm from. Not where I'm currently stationed, but where I live most of the year. So shout out to Johnny Vegas and the Horns. He's one of those tour mainstays, Mike. We know his name because he's been around for a while. And that's a good thing, because this guy has absolutely just been a cash cow. Listen, he doesn't win a million events. He's got a couple of Canadian Opens to his name. He's done some things here and here. He's gotten about a handful of wins on tour. But longevity is the name of the game for a lot of these guys that aren't top flight stars in the game of golf. And Johnny Vegas is a perfect example of a guy that's hung around and just lasted his entire professional career on tour. And he put himself in position to get another win and found the opportunity this past weekend in Minnesota.
And he moved up 83 spots in the FedEx Cup standings to just qualify for the St. Jude. Now 66 in the standings.
Just got to hold that spot right there. Yeah. I think maybe the Wyndham after the Olympic thing might count towards FedEx Cup. But yeah, we're basically at that point where the playoffs are here and you want to get into that top 70. These are those valuable numbers that we always talk about, the top 70, the top 30. It's time to really start paying attention to that because that figures out exactly who's going to make that full run through the playoffs.
Also need to talk about Hayden Buckley. We need to talk about Hayden Buckley because this is perfectly personifies golf in 2 holes for him. 16, 17, 16th hole. He was just on the red line and did not hit his recovery quite right. And it went off the red post and into the water. That
post is so freaking small that guards and shows where the water hazards are for people who don't know the game quite that well. I mean, we're talking about like a 1.5 inch by maybe 1.5 foot tall pole to mark the hazard, and of course he found it, right?
Horrible. So ball in the water, double bogey, 17th par 3, hole in 1.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Golf gods taketh away, and then they immediately giveth back. This is what the patience of the game has always taught us throughout our entire life is, yes, you could be in the middle of an absolute nightmare of a golf hole, but the next one could be a freaking ace. And Hayden Buckley's moment showcased that.
Every time you stand over the ball is a new opportunity for something amazing to happen.
I keep saying, Mike, every time I step at these par 3s now, because you notice I'm filming on basically every par 3 now that I get on. Yep. I just keep walking up to tee being like, all right, time for a hole in 1. And I keep saying it, and I'm really not even coming close. I'm hoping that eventually the positive language will get me there. But that's my new mantra out there on the par 3s. I'm
all for positivity and speaking things into fruition. However, a watch pot never boils. And
I'm such a pot watcher too. It's not even funny.
So saying it's going to happen, I don't think is going to make it happen.
My journey for an ace waits a little bit longer than Hayden Buckley's did.
It does. The other big golf headline, short of KJ Choi winning the Senior British Open by a landslide, is Beefy Bryson. Major winner this year.
The video of the year, Mike, as crazy as that sounds.
And Donald J. Trump.
And playing 18 holes on YouTube. Like totally normal, right? That's 2024 headlines for you.
I've seen a couple of these videos pop up on my feed, and I think I watched like one of the first ones where Donald's putting stroke looked like he had the yips or something. And just a horrible hitch that you see throughout his swing, no matter what he's doing.
It's unbelievable.
He sunk the putt. It was a good putt. It was just uncomfortable to watch. And because of my own political feelings, my own personal feelings, I should say, and political feelings, they say that too. I just scroll past all these videos that pop up on my feed now because I just don't need to see it. So, Alex, if you want to share more about Trump and Bryson playing 18 holes, you go right ahead.
Yep, I put the politics aside and watched the full hour. I will say there was only one really political dig at Biden when he hit a good shot. Just the classic Donald line. I bet you Biden couldn't do that, could he? He gave us one of those. But besides that, it was quite an informative 18 holes. Basically, Bryson and Trump were trying to break 50. This is Bryson's new series where he takes a partner out and they try and break 50, Mike, for 18 holes. So that's 23 under par. The caveat being they play from the forwardmost tees on the golf course. So they did a 2-man scramble. Par 4s are pretty drivable. Par 5s, they can all get 2 and 2. And Trump definitely had some highlight moments. But the one that I was walking away from is what you mentioned earlier. His putting stroke is absolutely hideous. He brings it back normally, just like any 70s or 80s shooting golfer would. But all of a sudden at impact, his wrists do some unbelievable flick to the left and up of where he's aiming, basically. And it's the most unbelievable twitch you'll ever see on a putt. How he gets his putts to roll as straight as they do with that stroke is maybe the biggest mystery in America today. But regardless, that was my biggest takeaway is clearly no one has told Trump that he needs to fix his putting stroke. It's one of those things where I'm sure no one wants to tell him he's doing it all wrong. But boy, Donnie, your game could be even better than it is if you just fix that putting stroke. That's my resounding thought.
Pretty much. I think you're exactly right.
But shout out to Bryson, for putting that video together. I know there are probably a lot of logistics behind making that happen. So definitely shirk up the golf content world for sure. And I'll be curious to see who Bryson brings on for his next Breaking 50 video. It's going to be hard to top that, but I know he's got some names in mind for sure.
All right, let's talk about the Olympics. It's here. It's in Paris. They kicked it off in style with the cauldron was a wow,
Giant, like, inflating balloon
yeah,
that slowly moved up in the air. I never really saw what happened at the end of it, but I'm assuming we put that flame out, right?
I don't know. Might still be flying up there.
It's that Olympic flame though. It's just ever flowing, right?
You can't put it. You don't put it out until the Olympics are over. So
it's floating through the sky in France right now for the next 2 weeks. Okay.
I don't really know what's happening to it right now. But I think the big question we have as we really roll into these Olympics and the golf portion of it, which is of course what we're most interested in, is will Slovakian Rory Sabatini back up his silver medal performance 3 years ago?
Right. That's what's on everybody's mind. Slovakian Rory Sabatini. Thank you for the emphasis on that as well, too. Who's clearly a lifer of Slovakia. Yes, it's the field is set 60 guys. 60 women will play next week for the same medals. Le Golf National Paris, you know it as the French Open host. You know it as a past Ryder Cup host as well, too. Mm-hmm. Obviously, our focus is on the Team USA guys, but a wonderful field. Obviously, with Team USA, we're talking about 4 names in Scottie and Xander, who've been in our debates recently. And then Colin Morikawa and Wyndham Clark also repping the U.S. In this week's competition.
Yep, and Rory McIlroy right up there in the odds, third in the odds. Do we think Rory keeps getting these really good odds, but you should never put money on Rory McIlroy ever again?
Yeah, right. You know who the Irishman I'm going with? I'm going with Shane Lowry instead.
Yeah.
How about that? He was the one bearing the flag for Ireland. He's the one that seems to be a little bit more amped at the moment. I think Rory's coming off another year without a major, maybe coming in a little post-major malaise / hangover. So I think I'm riding with Shane Lowry if I'm picking an Irishman to contend on that side for a medal. And then you know me, Mike, major tournament, hitting the Oberg button. I don't really consider this an actual major. It's an Olympic gold, but I'll be betting on Oberg to represent Sweden and definitely finish in the medal at least.
What about John Rahm? What do we think of the live guy playing for Spain?
Won the live event this past weekend too.
So what do we think of John Rahm? Do we think he's in form here, that he's going to contend?
He's just such a hothead. It's so funny because the entire week at Live Golf this past week were just tweets about John Rahm and his caddy swearing at fans, and yet he emerged with the trophy on Sunday. Like he's the only guy that can win angry, I feel like right now. So I don't know if he's going to have that anger playing with his country, for his country in France, representing Spain. I think just to stay away for John Rahm. Yeah,
Neiman you from see Chile. The better live guy to put $1 on?
That could be the one. Yeah. Let's see. CT Pan got himself a bronze medal. You just never know who's going to sneak into second or third, as 2021 taught us in Tokyo. But yeah, it's that same debate that we had last week, where I think we could get another Scottie, Scheffler, Xander, Schauffle, maybe a duel in head-to-head format for a gold medal. It's one of those things where, the swimmers and the runners, they're a lot more buddy-buddy when they're competing, and they're both in medal contingency or medal winning category. But these two might be a little different because they're competing for Player of the Year. They're competing for a lot more than just the gold. So I'm looking for the two of them to duel out this week.
What I really want to know, though, is why IOC are we not having any team golf events at all at the Olympics? You got them all there. It's real easy to do team golf with both the men and the women together on the same team. This is the opportunity to do what we've been screaming for.
I think we screamed about this 3 years ago, didn't we?
I think we did too. I think we could go into the archives and find that pretty easily.
So time's a flat circle. Things don't move, and our takes don't change on Olympic golf.
I'm just flabbergasted that this is only a singles event, that we don't have any team. Everything else has a team portion to it, it seems, in some capacity. And here we are in golf, where the Ryder Cup is one of the biggest events every 2 years. President's Cup is getting very much more popular now. The Solheim Cup has become incredibly popular. Why aren't we doing something?
Yeah,
IOC.
It's annoying because they're going with the formulaic Thursday to Sunday, 72 holes, 60 players, which is fine. It looks just like a normal tournament, but that's also what's wrong, is it looks just like a normal tournament. We're so used to this format. They're there right now, Mike. The men don't get going till Thursday. Why can't we do a 2 or 3 day men and women team competition? It could even be a freaking best ball with all the guys from each country or something. I mean, let's get weird with it. there's room on the calendar in the Olympic Games. No other sport is using the golf course.
No.
Let's just be real. It's not like there's like,
true.
we're fighting for stadium room here. So this is absolutely something that can happen. And yeah, you and me will be saying the same thing in 4 years from now, for sure.
We will be. 4 years in LA, right? They're in LA in 4 years. I think they're in LA country.
We'll be there yelling as it happens too.
They're going to be, they're at Riv, I think, for the golf.
Yep, they are.
So come on, guys, make it happen.
Right. Seriously.
All right, let's talk about
life.
Let's talk about life. Let's talk about what's going on. You're still up there in the Beloit area in Wisconsin, enjoying the cool, dry weather.
Yep. The state line area, we call it, Illinois-Wisconsin border here. And
I'm just wondering how much longer you'll continue to do this podcast with me after you take off after your guest appearance on the Beloit Sky Carp radio broadcast.
Right, I know. That's the first sign when you know I'm ditching you, is when I hop on a minor league baseball radio broadcast. You know it's over, right?
I thought it's been over for quite a while, but I guess that's nail in the coffin now.
Shout out to our friends at the Beloit Sky Carp. You and I love these unique minor league baseball experiences, and this is absolutely one of them. I got a really awesome giveaway shirt, beautiful baby blue Hogwarts themed, Beloit Sky Carp themed Harry Potter shirt as the giveaway.
Nice.
And yes, Mike, I have an extra for a future giveaway. We'll just tease that right there. So we got some giveaways coming here on the show in the next few weeks. But my time with the Sky Carp was awesome. Awesome minor league, high A-level minor league program that's affiliated with the Miami Marlins. They not only showed me around the park, we will have the president of the team on next week's podcast. And they even asked me to hop on the radio. It was great to get back on the air, Mike, throwing the headset back on. It reminded me and you at WQAQ in Hamden, Connecticut, you know?
Yes. And it looked like the game ended in a walk-off, right?
Walk-off home run win for the Sky Carp. I was there for the top of the fifth. And again, you always see these baseball play-by-play guys. Shout out to Flick with the team there. You see them operate, Mike, and how fast the game moves and how he's continuously scoring every pitch and every play, and how effortlessly he can deliver that call. It just makes you and I appreciate how impressive that part is. They also took me to the back where you're going to get a kick out of the production angle of the Beloit Sky Carp games that I got to show off with our friend Matt there as well too. They showed me all the screens, however, all the magic happens from every pitch to every at bat to every song to everything that goes in the Jumbotron. So great video coming my way, our way from the Beloit Sky Carp, and definitely we'll be back there in future years. Maybe this isn't the last time you hear me on the radio with them as well too, but it was a lot of fun.
Again, the end is nigh. That's all I have to say.
That's right. I mean, yeah, great time there with the Sky Carp, and wish them nothing but luck the rest of the season.
I'm going to head toward your neck of the woods this week, Alex.
You're coming to Wisconsin. That's exciting. Wow.
No, I'm not coming to Wisconsin. I'm coming closer to Wisconsin. I'm headed to Indianapolis.
All right. Okay.
For Gen Con, which is the largest annual tabletop gaming and culture conference in North America.
The Super Bowl of game conferences.
Yes. In 2019, 70,000 attendees.
Oh, that's
so that was just a couple of years ago. So this takes place. So for scale, okay, we went to the PGA show. That was in the Orlando Convention Center. Yes. One building of the Orlando Convention Center.
It was. Yep. One long hallway, basically.
The Gen Con takes place in the Indiana Convention Center, Lucas Oil Stadium across the street.
That's an NFL stadium, people.
That is an NFL stadium, and another 7 hotels in the surrounding area. This is massive. And I will be on the Lucas Oil Stadium floor. We'll get video of that and some photos of that, because that's where they have a giant game library.
Interesting.
Where you can just check out any game that's brought there by any of the people that are there. And there's everybody's there.
That's going to be
everybody
cool.
in the industry is there.
That's going to be a cool vibe, being in an NFL stadium, experiencing that convention. Very neat.
It really will be. So it's going to be an exhausting week, because where we're staying with some friends is an hour outside of the city. So we have 9 a.m. starts every day, and we're going to be there till 9 p.m. So this is going to be
you're doing some real commuting too. I love it.
We're doing some long drives and some super long days at Gen Con, but it should be a whole lot of fun. We're going to learn some new games. We're doing some events. We'll be taught how to play some stuff we don't know about. We'll check everything out that's going to be there. Supposedly the convention hall itself, where all the different companies are, could take 3 days just to go through. So
I believe it. I mean, you saw how big that PGA show floor was, and this sounds like like it's probably 3 to 5x, if not more. So yeah, you're going to be parceling your time out in a mindful manner for this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and so keep an eye on my social MWRINC on Instagram. I'll post some photos and video there from my time. And on the way up, I'm sure we're gonna stop at Buc-ee's on the way up, Alex. So
got to. I mean, I hit 3 on the way up, and I'll probably hit 3 on the way back. Nothing better.
And you know what? Clean bathrooms, and their gas is actually quite cheap at Buc-ee's.
It isn't, by the way. These Illinois gas prices, they are wildin'. Oh my God, it's expensive here. It's like close to $4 a gallon. My word. Four something. Driving into Wrigley Field earlier this week, $4.50, $4.75 a gallon down there in Chicago. Tough times.
Damn.
Yikes. Yeah,
that's just crazy. So videos, Alex has got videos from his time in Beloit going up on our YouTube channel, some shorts going up there. Probably no new full length videos hitting the YouTube channel for this next week with both of us being away, but we might see something homing up there in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll do some Horseshoe Bay. We'll do some Beloit. We got farmers market shorts up there. We got food. We got slots. We got drinks. We got golf. It'll all be coming your way. So again, in addition to you following on this podcast right here, which we appreciate, check out the YouTube page, Course of Life Podcast.
Let's do a little tuned in, Alex, and let's keep the Olympic train rolling, because I know I've watched a little bit. I'm sure you've watched a lot more than me of the Olympics, though.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're obviously a little delayed since we are a Tuesday night release, but really the highlights are all the mainstays getting going. Great seeing Simone Biles, our superwoman, basically. Once every 4 years, she shines for us, the golden gymnast, and swimming is full force as well, too. The unique sports that I've seen so far, I've seen a little bit of the kayak racing, which has been interesting to watch.
That's always really interesting. Yep.
Badminton, very fast-paced badminton. I mean, you remember playing badminton like your family's lawn where you like softly hit the shuttlecock over the net.
Yep.
This is not your grandmother's badminton. They are sending fastballs in there. Just enjoying the full variety. Obviously, Team USA basketball rolling through group play right now on both the men's and the women's science. That's going to be all a question of what medal they win and if they do or don't get gold. But it's great to be in full Olympic mode here for the next couple of weeks.
I also need to bring up, as we're tuning in, something big news in the world of movies, I guess you could say. It's San Diego Comic-Con. It's one of the Comic-Cons this weekend as well.
I mean, if Gen Con's the Super Bowl of gaming, Comic-Con is the Super Bowl of, the nerd culture, basically.
San Diego Comic-Con is a place to be. And so Marvel was doing their thing. I don't know about you, but I've really kind of soured on Marvel recently. It's just everything's too interconnected. It's kind of hard to have stakes and stuff for me to a certain extent.
Sure.
And it's not the Marvel I grew up on, if you know what I'm saying. Right. But they announced the new big baddie, which is Dr. Doom.
And they said they needed to get the greatest actor in the world to play this role, Mike. It was like a superhero like reveal on stage. Yeah. It was very dramatic. I watched the video.
It was RDJ. It was Robert Downey Jr. So Iron Man is back, but he's not Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what this tells me is that Marvel is so desperate to get people back in the movie theater that they will go back and bring a guy back who was such a beloved character and built the Marvel Cinematic Universe into what it was. I don't think it is that anymore, but into what it was, that they brought it back. So how are they going to explain this? That this guy looks exactly like Iron Man is now the new big baddie.
I was wondering what your take would be on this twist, because that's what it really is. It's a twist in its finest form. And basically the term for this, Mike, is Marvel is just playing the hits right now.
Yes,
they're like,
yes,
all right, yes. What do we got to go back to? Like, what hit hard? Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yep, we got to push that button right now. We got okay, but this makes no sense because he played Iron Man. Now, well, they'll get past it. They're just playing the hits right now. Is what they're doing.
It's just like I don't know how this is going to work. We'll see how it works. It might work fine. I don't know. Maybe he'll just wear the Dr. Doom mask and we'll never know any better. But I doubt it. That. So, because why do you bring in an actor like RDJ and never show his face? You don't do that. So
interesting move. Interesting, good announcement. Interesting twist of a move, though. We'll see how it plays out.
Yes. All right, let's get to the turn in this week's guest. It's we're still talking all things Wisconsin and the Beloit area.
Yep.
And last week was your conversation with
Our friends
Savannah,
at Visit Beloit, Savannah, yep.
At Visit Beloit. And this week, we're going back to the golf course because you're headed to Red Barn.
Correct. And this is a very unique course that has a very unique history. Over 140 years of history, a past resort, celebrities, a goat that played on the grounds, and a whole lot more perspective from Richard Barnes at Red Barn Golf Course. All right, next up on the tee, he's the owner-operator at Red Barn Golf Course in Rockton, Illinois. It's Richard Barnes joining us on the Course of Life. Richard, how you doing today?
Fantastic. Very happy to be here.
Awesome. It's great to be here. I love the facility already, and I can't wait to check it out. But as for your Course of Life in golf, I see that you have not only background in golf management, but playing competitively a little bit yourself as well. Tell everyone a little bit about your story with the game.
Well, my father put in a little cup in the backyard. So I've been hitting the ball since I was 3 years old.
Nice.
And then when I was 14, my dad and I went to the local driving range in New Berlin, Wisconsin. And I started working at what was known as the Double R driving range back then. At 14, picking balls.
Shagging balls all over the range, right?
Yep. Especially during the spring when the bog that the range was in was very soft.
Great introduction to golf course maintenance as well, too, and finding balls all over the place.
Exactly. I got my little brother involved when he turned old enough, and so he would pick balls ahead of me as I was cutting grass. That was a 5 a.m. get up, so I have been used to getting up and playing golf early ever since then. So at my high school team, we won state my sophomore year in Wisconsin, New Berlin West High School. And then my junior and senior year, I was the number one player on the team.
Wow.
So, yeah, I had some good experience right out of the gate as a youth. And then when I turned 18, I went and tried to qualify for the U.S. Open. You might be aware that the U.S. Open is open to anyone.
That's what's so great about it, yeah.
A 3.5 handicap or less.
That local qualifier and then the grueling sectional qualifier as well, too.
So I didn't make it past the local qualifier, but it was fun trying. And so I continued through my college days after 18, working at the Double R, which turned into be Storms Driving Range, which is now Moreland Road Driving Range. We put in a par 3 course. I helped the owners expand the grass tees, and then they bought additional land and in the bog, which made it a challenge trying to grow grass when it was that wet. But we were able to put in a little 9-hole par 3 course. And then we were associated with the Storms Corporation, which had several golf courses in the Milwaukee suburban area.
Okay.
So I had been able to help out the Storms in general with golf course management.
Very cool.
And then after college, my father-in-law was willing to back me if we could find a driving range that we could afford. So I even looked right after I got my electrical engineering degree to try to stay in the game. But it was unfortunate. Land prices in the Milwaukee metro area was skyrocketing, and so we didn't have an opportunity at that time. So I waited, I guess it would be 35 years. And
just waiting for the right piece of land.
This opportunity opened up. So during COVID, the financial person that owned the Red Barn Golf Course, he wanted to sell because he moved to Hawaii.
Okay.
And so he wanted to liquidate his Northern Illinois assets. And so my wife and I bought it in May of 2021.
Very exciting. So the Red Barn itself, which is where we are quite literally in right now, we're at the 19th hole. Give a little context to the creation and the story of the Red Barn and the property itself.
Sure. So back in the World War II timeframe in the 40s, Walt Williamson purchased this land and started making a resort out of it.
The Wagon Wheel Resort, kind of pretty well known in this area. Yeah.
Wagon Wheel Resort, and very well known. It had its own airstrip over here next to my range.
Wow. And
in the little alcove of the parking lot, there was the movie theater or the dinner theater. So you can come for a dinner and a show. And I have some playbills from back then I can show you. Oh,
so cool. I'm looking forward to showing those to our audience too.
And then up top of the hill where the water tower is, there was the resort. So it housed Olympic-size skating rinks and Olympic skaters like Fleming and Scott Hamilton trained here at the Wagon Wheel, and they went on to be medal winners. That was Peggy Fleming. Name didn't come to me right away, but in the 1964 Olympics, Peggy Fleming was out of the Wagon Wheel practice facility. And it had collected popularity. That's why they had a landing strip. I heard that at one time Bob Hope visited the Wagon Wheel.
Known big-time golfer as well, too.
Yes. And probably played the course, but I don't have any facts on that.
Oh,
but I do have a fact that one of my seniors that likes to hit our driving range said that he saw Jack Nicklaus back when he was a youth hit golf balls here because he was invited to play an invitational at Mactown, which is a county course just up the road from us. And so, we've had the likes of world famous Jack Nicklaus.
The Golden Bear has set foot on the property. I love that. That's very cool. So this property and this course is very unique. People see lots of different 9-hole course variations. Some people refer this as an executive style course. I like to refer this as a choose your own adventure style golf course.
Exactly.
But tell everyone what makes Red Barn's 9 holes so unique.
Well, it's unique in the fact that it started out as a par 3 course with one par 4. And the previous owner put blue tee boxes at the property line and was able to stretch the holes in such a manner that it's now 4 par 3s, 4 par 4s, and 1 par 5 playing from the blue tees. And so it makes it a challenge, as we like to say on our website. You can play the first 9 from one tee box, and then you could play the second 9 from another tee box, and you get a totally different experience.
Yeah, you could do the stars and stripes, do the red, white, blue, switch up the tee box on every hole if you'd like. I love the freestyle authenticity of playing here. I'm curious, have you ever played Red Barn with just one club in your bag before?
I have not, but we have 3 club scrambles that our clients and customers have arranged. So we have a Monday night league.
Okay.
That's one of the events that they have.
Nice. I might have to try it. I've done the one club challenge at different courses, so I may try it here at Red Barn and report back to everyone, because this is the exact type of course to just freestyle it and have a lot of fun while you're out there. And what this course does that I really do appreciate is that this is a great intro to golfing on a course for youth, maybe picking up clubs for the first time, or beginners that are looking to learn the game. Talk to me about how a course like this helps kind of grow the game and bring new golfing audience into the area.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a strong junior program since the previous pro was here. She ran the operations for 25 years for her financier. And she started the juniors program. And so we've had some elite members from the juniors program. The previous Hananiga High School golf coach started here as a youth, and she's currently still on staff as our director of junior golf.
Awesome. Nice.
And so we've had notoriety with the Hananiga boys team last year. This is the first year that they've sent a team to sectional. And last year was the first year that they started practicing at our facility.
Very cool. And I mean, kids at that age, they remember these facilities where they really get good and learn the ins and outs of the game. And that bond will carry with them into their adult life as well, too.
Oh, most definitely. Right now, our junior league is the highest that it's been, with over 60 juniors, and they tee off here in the next few minutes on Thursday late morning. And so, it makes it awfully exciting to see the youths come out. And I will tell you, since we've added Top Tracer, we've had a lot younger interest into the game of golf.
Definitely.
So Top Tracer is a computer vision tracking system, as you know, and it offers 6 games, 18 virtual courses, and then 3 my practice screens. And the kids come out because they love to play the Go Fish game.
I love that. I mean, what it does is it kind of like gamifies the practice experience and entertains it a little bit more. Right.
Yeah. And as I was telling my employees the first year we put it in, it brings the kids out of just wanting to play their video games or Xboxes or whatever media they're using, because the monitor interacts with the kids. And so they get that gaming feeling while they're swinging the golf club.
No, very well said.
I think that's a great transition to get out from underneath the computer screen and get out here and get some physical exercise swinging the golf club.
Well said. Again, we're joined by Richard Barnes from Red Barn Golf Course here in Rockton, Illinois. We're part of our partnership with the Visit Beloit team, which is kind of right on the Illinois-Wisconsin border. So I'll start with an interesting question for you. We're right on that border between Bears and Packers fandom. Are you Bears, Packers, or neither?
Well, I grew up in the Milwaukee area when they used to have games at Milwaukee County Stadium.
Okay.
And my uncle had season tickets, so he allowed me to go a preseason game when they were playing the Bengals. I loved the Bengals uniform with the black and orange.
Oh, yeah. And iconic uniform.
That was the first game I got to see. I remained a Packer fan. But we're mainly about 75% Packer fans from what I can tell with my clientele, and about 25% Bear fans. And that might be the fact that the Packers have dominated the Bears for the last 20-some years.
My wife's family wouldn't like to admit that, but it is the truth. So just curious about that. I'm curious on the course specifically, what's your favorite par 3 out here?
So my favorite one is the 5th hole. It is the one that used to have a pond on it. So there's a valley right before the hole. So I play it like there's water in the valley and make sure that I can hit 170 yards onto the green, rather than dumping it in what used to be a pond. And also on that 5th hole is an old light stanchion. So this course used to be lit at night when it was part of the resort. And so that's one of the last remnants of the lit course, is having the light stanchion with the old bubble type light bulbs that would beam down on the 5th hole. So that's another reason it's my favorite hole.
Very cool. I know you have a little bit of background with doing like hole-in-one charity events as well too in your golf management era. I'm curious at what's like the craziest ace that you've ever seen. Do you have a wild hole-in-one story, whether it was yourself or somebody else you saw hitting one?
Well, I will tell you, I've had 2 hole-in-ones in my life. And the craziest one was during the COVID years, when people would put the orange, the little
noodle foam. Yeah,
the noodle foam. And, it was just 110-yard hole downhill. I was playing in Alabama at the time. And so my wedge, 2-tier green. So my wedge hit on the top tier and then rolled down to where the pin was. And fortunate for me, the gentleman from the next tee box stayed there so that he could tell me that it was a hole-in-one, and that it just rolled 6 inches past because it bounced off the foam. But it would have been in the hole. And then
interesting moment to have a witness there. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, last year, the one who attests my hole-in-one on the third hole here.
Okay.
So it's a 140-yard par 3, was the course mascot. So we have a Bernedoodle, 2.5 years old, named Birdie.
Yep.
And Birdie got to see my hole-in-one eagle as I was walking him as we were playing the course.
Nice. Birdie's not only the mascot here, but he's also the witness as well. It's
yes.
good to hear. I'm glad we covered Birdie. I saw on the website that you're very friendly to your customers who play here, and if they get a drink here, the second drink is on you. Richard, is that right? Are you that generous these days?
I am that generous. Well, you got to know that Rockton is kind of a little hub for golf courses. There's 3 county courses in the area. And so the downtown restaurants offer, if you bring a scorecard in, you get your second drink for free. So I'm really just keeping up with the competition, because I'd rather have them drink here than going in downtown and having a drink, which is just a half a mile up the road.
Amen to that. So yeah, it's a really great area to play, and Red Barn is part of that awesome rotation here in the Rockton Beloit area. We always end with our 19th hole question, and we're sitting at the 19th hole at Red Barn right now. So my question for you is, when you finish a round, what's your go-to like snack and drink that you like to have at the 19th hole?
Well, being a Wisconsin boy, a brat is the snack that I go to.
Yep.
And definitely make sure I get my relish on that brat with some onions, the way that we do it at the Badger games up in Madison.
Nice.
And then here, my favorite drink is Canadian whiskey and sweet, so a 7-Up or a Sprite type of product. And so I'll sit back and relax, enjoying a brat and a whiskey sweet.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to show off the practice facility and the course to our audience and experience the 19th hole here at Red Barn. Richard, thanks again for hopping on the Course of Life.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Course of Life podcast is brought to you by Zencastr. We've been using Zencastr here since almost the very beginning, as how Alex and I record this podcast from hundreds of miles away, and it provides us with great quality audio that works every time, and it's something that makes Course of Life what it is and has kept us being able to make consistent episodes every week. And now it's super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. You log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. You record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. You feel a sense of zen, knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. And have you ever wondered what you actually sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. Head on over to zencastr.com/pricing and use our promo code CourseOfLife to get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of your podcasting and content needs. Again, that's zencastr.com/pricing and our promo code CourseOfLife. Zencastr, it's time to share your story. And we're back. Great chat there with Richard. Lots of history on that course. Sounds like it's a lot of fun. And Alex, I know what club you should use when you play it with only one club.
Yeah, I was debating this because I went out there with a full set and had fun out there. But as I was playing, I was like, I know I have to do a one club video out here. This is the perfect course for it.
You have to do it one club. It's very big right now doing things with one club. And I'm telling you, this is a club you need to use. You ready?
Okay.
You have to use your driver. You have to use the driver.
There's like 120-yard par threes, Mike. What am I going to do?
Look, you were hitting drivers literally a year ago into 120-yard par threes when we were in Ireland.
That's true.
Literally a year ago. So...
I mean, see, now that you said that, it's going to be almost hard for me to play with any other one club now.
Look, I love you, Alex, but people want to see you suffer.
All right, so here, let me think about it like this. The par fours are like 2-something, so I could hit driver, and if it's in play, it's a little chip driver near the green, so I could get 4 there.
How many bunkers are in play?
One par 5, all the others are par 3s.
How many bunkers in play?
I hit bunker on literally the first hole last time I played with a 9-iron. So there's a few is the answer to that question. But it's a short course, so I might be able to pull it off.
That's what I think would make it so great, is to have you hitting like half drivers, 1/4 drivers the whole round.
I just might do this tomorrow, or if not soon. So check out our Instas at COL Podcast and at Course of Life Alex. It'll go there first and YouTube to follow. But yeah, I have not done one club challenge with a driver, and now that you say it and you talk it out, it is feasible. So I think I might have to do it. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm looking out for you.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
All right, let's change from you feeling bad that I just told you to use a driver on an executive style course to all of us feeling bad at the groundbreaking, sky-shattering news.
Pop politics news for sure. This is very political.
It will no longer be open seating on Southwest.
I mean, this is the one calling card that Southwest Airlines had in the history of their airline. They were the open seating airline.
Next to free, no check bag fees, which, yes, you don't pay that fee. But if you actually start comparing prices, it's still about the same as when you're checking a bag.
Right. Yeah.
But
so this airline had been around for over 50 years, Mike. They had 47 straight years of profit. And then I guess in the last few years that had gone downhill into not profiting. And from what I understand anecdotally is they did a large scale survey across their customer base. And apparently 80-something% of the people that they surveyed said that was like their number one reason for avoiding Southwest Airlines. So they're making the change based on that feedback and result. My immediate thought was I was a little shocked and saddened because me and my wife are big fans of the 24-hour in advance check-in. You usually guarantee the A or B group. We like picking the seat. We're good at picking the seat. But other friends of mine have chimed in saying they're very okay with that going away. Where do you stand on the policy change?
I mean, look, I don't like having to try to remember to check in 24 hours before. You can pay the extra fee to have it done for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the alternative.
And it also was always really annoying when you checked in for a flight and you had a connecting flight and you had like a 4-hour layover in your connecting flight, but you still had a worse seating position on your connecting flight than you did on your original flight.
That's a fair piece of feedback. Yep.
That said, I never had a problem picking a seat. Unless if you were in an A or that first half of that B group, you got whatever seat you wanted. It did not matter. All the time.
That's what I explained to everyone. You always get it, and then if not, you like you said, you pay the extra if you want to guarantee a good spot.
Yeah, and you know what? It just makes me wonder how much longer until they start charging us extra for check bags.
Yeah, I know.
That's the question. If Southwest really wants to make their whole system better, they should stop running everything on MS-DOS.
Wow,
that's
a real in the weeds answer. I like that.
I mean, they didn't get affected by the CrowdStrike thing, right?
They didn't, but they screwed me over.
Antiquated systems.
Never forget Christmas 2022 when I stayed in Illinois 5 extra days because they screwed everyone over that week. I'll always remember that one.
If you ever get stuck in Illinois for another 5 days because of that, you now know to just go to Beloit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, good call. So that's my workaround for Southwest. But nonetheless, I think the policy is not going to go into effect until sometime next year.
Yeah,
so enjoy the open seating for now while you can.
Let's talk basketball. And I feel like we're going to bury the lead, Alex. But the best John Test song of all time is back.
I'm so glad you mentioned this.
But at the same time, the NBA on TNT is gone. So it's kind of bittersweet with all this, right?
Big catch 22 we're losing inside the NBA. Potentially Barkley's services and that crew are moving. So we're going to miss that banter for sure. But like you said, Round Ball Rock, the ultimate basketball theme song created by the legend John Tesh, back in full circulation, and they were running it for Team USA's first win in group play on Sunday, which was awesome to hear. Nothing like going to a basketball commercial with Round Ball Rock. It reminds you and I of the days of Jordan and Ewing and Reggie Miller and the 90s NBA stars going at it on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Yes. The hands down, the best sport theme music of all time.
It is. If you don't know it already and you're not going crazy, bop it in your head, just Google Round Ball Rock. And better yet, Google the John Tesh performance of Round Ball Rock when he plays it live for everybody.
He is so into it.
More into it than we are right now talking about it.
Yes. I mean, that's why it's so great. Also worth noting, Barkley is retiring at the end of next year anyway.
Yeah.
So he's donezo anyway. But Ernie Johnson, who I didn't know had been with TNT since the beginning, 30 years ago.
Crazy.
You know, it's just the end of an era. That said, there's also the possibility of some litigation coming from Warner Brothers Discovery over all this. So that could happen. So it still might change. But
how that's all breaking down. But in the end, like if I told you several years ago, hey, by the way, Round Ball Rock and the NBA and NBC are coming back, you'd be like, you're crazy. Stop doing drugs. So here we are, you know.
I mean, you still might be crazy, but
yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, let's talk about the NFL because it's training camp.
Yep, time to over-exaggerate things and get excited about throws against air.
Yeah, so what do we think? Patriots, Giants, are we headed to the Super Bowl?
Yep, I'm in love with Drake May. You know, he's throwing slant routes that are perfectly timed against air and nobody defending him. He's doing 7-step drops with nobody rushing him, and he looks like a Pro Bowler, Mike. I can't see anything that's going to go wrong. Fully on board with Drake May playing against air. He looks great.
I mean, look, at training camp, everyone looks like they're Super Bowl stars.
Yeah. So there's not really much going on the Giants front either. They're still running through the final episodes of the off-season Giants. But regardless, we'll pay an eye close to things. We have our first NFL preseason game this Thursday, as crazy as that sounds. So we'll be getting into all the stuff on the field next week. And
NBC is pushing hard right now for the opening games of the season coming up. So
already.
In September.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, it is. You know, the Olympics to NBC, they push the football the same way that during March Madness CBS pushes the Masters.
Indeed. It's pretty heavy. Yeah.
It's the same thing. All right, let's hashtag always end with food.
Indeed. Always end with food on Instagram, our 19th hole content to wrap up the Course of Life podcast. And Mike, I'm just going to hit you with a trio of Midwest fast food restaurants. You tell me your favorites or give me your gut reaction thoughts here of what I've tried so far. So obviously we got to start the conversation with Culver's. Have you ever been to a Culver's, Mike?
I actually literally just went to a Culver's for the first time this weekend and got a shake.
Nice. Okay,
and it was way too thick. I don't understand why these places make shakes that are too thick. You can't get through the straw. The whole point of a shake is that you can have it through a straw instead of needing a spoon.
Yeah, it's the concrete. Yeah, the concrete mixer, a little too thick. If you're looking for the shake consistency, I get that. It's the butter burger is the play at Culver's, but they also have a great Reuben, very good chicken tenders as well. That was number one. Number two, Mike, Portillo's, the Italian beef. You've definitely heard me talk about it before, but you get the Italian beef with the sweet and spicy peppers dipped in the au jus with the cheese fries, and you could put me in heaven, basically.
Yeah, I've driven past one in Indiana, and I probably will drive by a few more
in this
next week, but I have yet to go to one.
And then the third and final one, which we've actually hit twice as the sleeper here. This is a real super Midwestern one. Beefaroo, Mike. What are your thoughts on that name for that chain right there? Beefaroo.
It sounds, if Arby's gives me the meat sweats.
Yes.
I don't think I can say on any medium what this place might give me.
Yep, it will exactly do that. You're right. Slightly bougier version of Arby's, maybe $1 or $2 more, but they also have a lovely buffalo chicken wrap. They do a chicken Caesar wrap. They do burgers. They do dogs. They do shakes. So those are my fast food trios. I'm just packing on the LBS right here. Meat, bread, and cheese. That's the theme here in the upper Midwest.
It's like you're putting on fat for the winter.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just bulking and hibernating and storing away like the squirrels do. Exactly.
Crazy. Well, what you should do is on Monday the 29th, the day before this podcast comes out.
Or all this week.
Because you might as well. It's National Chicken Wing Day on the 29th of July. So I guess the question is, if you could only have one chicken wing for the rest of your life, one flavor, what would that flavor be?
It's a great and easy answer. So it's Pluckers, Austin, Texas. It's the spicy garlic parmesan, because what that is, Mike, Michael, is a mixture of the garlic parmesan breading and also the buffalo sauce. So it gives you the spice of buffalo, but also the garlic parmesan flavor. So it's primarily drum, spicy garlic parmesan, blue cheese, and celery on the side. That'd be my wing order.
Okay. I actually think I would go just real traditional with just, medium buffalo and ranch, because I hate blue cheese.
No, don't say that right here. Don't do that to me.
I am so anti blue cheese. Look, we have a lot of things in common when it comes to food, Alex. We are team grilled onion on our cheeseburgers.
Yep.
When it comes to a chicken wing, it has to be served with ranch.
Okay. Yeah, you side with my wife on that one. I'm in the minority of the blue cheese crowd, for sure. All right, everyone celebrate National Chicken Wing Day and week out there. We thank you for tuning in to Always End with Food and this week's Course of Life podcast. Be sure to subscribe right now before we sign off. Until then, have a good week.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.